What is going on, guys? Grave here today. I'd like to talk about two big changes coming to Grimoires in Update 46 here in the Elder Scrolls Online. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Contingency and Bannerbearer are going to see some changes. So let's go ahead and talk about Bannerbearer first. They updated the cost of this Grimoire to 459 magic and stamina every 2 seconds for all focus scripts except Immobilize, which is now 720 stamina and health, rather than reducing your health, magicka, and stamina recovery by 45% for all scripts except Immobilize, which reduced by 50%. The developer comment says they're adjusting the cost of this Grimoire to be easier to understand and work with, as well as using a cost that is far less lopsided with how effective it can be in certain build types. They know this thing is strong. A lot of DPS out there use it. I don't think this change is going to make it unusable. Just keep in mind, a lot of people have been talking about sustain in the public test server in Update 46 and how it's a little bit tougher than it has been as of right now or in past updates. So you may have to adjust a few things here with this to, make sure you're getting enough sustain back. Of course, if it's on a heavy attack build like a Sork, for example, I don't really think it's going to affect you that much because you're always heavy attacking, so sustain is very easy. But if you're on something that's a lot of attack weaving, this could, possibly make some changes to your build. But of course, you have to keep in mind we will have subclassing coming into the game. There's a lot of different things you can get resources back with, especially when you start combining a bunch of different classes together. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how bad this will affect Bannerbearer, or if it's even going to be really something people use going forward. Right now, it's a great thing to use because you can craft it. I have it on a lot of my DPS characters. But I think a lot of people also, when subclassing comes out, are going to start using other abilities from other classes. And if you use Bannerbearer, it's going to have to be slotted on both bars. So that's going to take away kind of the whole idea of, combining a bunch of classes together and getting some different passives and damage. So Bannerbearer may not be as big in Update 46 or may not see as high of a use as it does right now. Also, another one they're making a change to is Contingency. Now, this is a great one for DPS, a great one for tanks. I have it unlocked on pretty much all 20 of my characters, and whether they're a DPS or tank, healer. I use it in a lot of different situations, but they increase the cost of all damage versions of this ability to 3780 up from 3510, which is not a massive increase. They increase the cost of the damage shield and healing version of this ability to 4,860 up from 3,510, which is a pretty big jump, as they were missing the 50% cost increase that healing and shield abilities are meant to have. They also fixed an issue where the healing and damage shields version of this ability were not properly treated as damage shields and healing abilities for many passive interactions, such as rune forms. For these fixes to properly apply to the existing variants of this Grimoire, your selections of focus, signature, and affix scripts have been reset to Contingency and will need to be reapplied to be cast again. This will also require you to resave your armory loadouts and use any version of Contingency. So just keep in mind when Update 46 comes out, you're going to have to add that back to your armory loadouts and make a few fixes there just because of the issues they were having. It says Contingency has found its way into many loadouts, offering powerful abilities that can happen simultaneously with other ability casts, making it a fantastic thing for adding burst damage or turning the tide of combat with a big shield or heal. When we originally made this ability, we were worried about how it would fit into many builds, as the notion of chambering abilities is more complex and skill reliant than other straightforward activations. So we set things like cost to be much easier to utilize in hopes of making this ability more accessible. However, they've created a case where the two defensive options of this Grimoire became incredibly dense at a relatively cheap cost. Also, it is to be cast and maintained much more than other abilities. As such, they're moving this closer to the cost of the straightforward ability. It still has some unique advantages for its unique or use requirements. In addition to this, since the relatively simple adjustments need a large factor of how the ability was built under the hood, we're resetting selections of scripts so the changes are properly respect on the server. So like I said, you're going to have to go back and adjust those for Contingency and put those back, like they said, to your loadout. Like I said, not a massive change to it. Probably the biggest one there, of course, is that increase in the cost of damage shield and healing version of this ability from 4860 up from 3510. So that's a pretty big jump. The cost of the damage version really wasn't that big of a change to me. But that is a great Grimoire to use. If you've not been using it yet, I would highly recommend you go try that one out even before update 46 comes out. This one is really, really useful. Anyway, guys, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about Contingency and Bannerbearer changes in update 46. And if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.